The Summit shooting range comes under fire for being too loud and possibly too popular. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News. First, for the second time in 5 days, Glenwood Canyon is locked down for a wildfire. CDOT closed both sides of I-70 today around 1:45 for the Grizzly Creek fire, a brush fire burning more than 250 acres within striking distance of the interstate. Cause is unknown. This blaze is separate from the 111 fire, which burned about 9 acres last Thursday and Friday. 17 miles of I-70 remain closed between Dotsero and Glenwood and will likely remain closed through the night. Keep it tuned to TJ for updates. The past 2 weekends on I-70 were the most crowded of summer by far. Nearly 155,000 vehicles passed through both sides of the Eisenhower Tunnel this weekend, Friday through Sunday, just 300 vehicles shy of last weekend, the busiest of summer. Already this August, nearly 310,000 vehicles have traveled I-70 through Summit, weekends only, more than in 6 whole weeks from April 3rd to May 10th. The Summit County shooting range just might be too loud, too nice, and too popular for its own good.
I would guesstimate that last year we would see somewhere in the summer months in the 600 to 800 people a month. We're currently estimating we're seeing somewhere over that number per week.
That was Tom Kroenke, president of the Summit Range Association. The nonprofit oversees operations at the range, which is owned by the county. But why has it been so busy? One theory is COVID cabin fever.
People are looking for an outlet. They're looking to experience life still beyond just being stuck inside their homes.
Another is range quality.
We have spent the last 8 to 10 years as an organization improving the range. And the Colorado Parks and Wildlife are now telling us that we're considered one of the best ranges, if not the best range in the state.
One solution is already in place. The county cut range times recently by 1 hour on weekdays, 3 hours on weekends.
That's fairly straightforward to implement and doesn't really cost any county resources.
But neighbors in Summit Cove still feel bombarded by the noise.
There are always a number of people who either are not aware of the new hours or decide not to abide by them.
The county recently commissioned a $50,000 noise study for the range. Results and recommendations are ready by end of this year. Breck and Frisco were home to a pair of rallies over the weekend, where Liz and Bobby of Breck showed love for local law enforcement, waving a flag in front of Breck PD.
My first.
First in my life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have horrible handwriting. I couldn't even make up my own banner.
Both events saw dozens of people, organized by Summit County GOP and led by Kim McGahey, a local candidate running for Colorado legislature.
I think it separates us from the rest of the world and gives us an opportunity to express ourselves and express the support for local law enforcement, so that those guys know that they're appreciated and the gratitude that we have for them.
Also at the Breckenridge rally on Friday was Garnett of Frisco, frustrated by Frisco's support of a Black Lives Matter mural.
What frustrates me, and I believe that the cops there in Frisco might also feel the same way, I just think it was insulting to put that message right in front of their building.
Weekend rallies were peaceful, with some scorn, but mostly support from honking motorists. The U.S. Forest Service has a ton of infrastructure.
370,000 miles of roads, nearly 160,000 miles of trails.
That was local forest ranger Sam Massman. The Dillon Ranger District alone sees millions of guests every year between ski resorts and 13 campgrounds, and a new $9 billion federal bill is sorely needed to keep up with things.
Give us opportunities to address a lot of deferred maintenance infrastructure projects.
The Great American Outdoors Act gives $285 million to the Forest Service every year for 5 years, 16% of that $9 billion total. Local money is confirmed early next year for projects. In sports, the Rockies play the Diamondbacks tonight at 6:40. The Nuggets face the Lakers at 7 on TNT. And tomorrow is opening day of tournament play for the Stanley Cup. The Avalanche are number 2 seed up against the Coyotes on Wednesday. In local sports, brought to you by American Family Insurance, the Weiss Agency, the traditional fall season for high school football, volleyball, and rugby is not happening this year. And Karl Barth, head coach for Summit Girls Rugby, hopes his players learn as much from hardship as from a state championship.
Isn't that what we, have been playing sports for? Student athletes to learn about flexibility and teamwork and responsibility and all kinds of things. So there's a lot of lessons still in there. They just may or may not be with tackling.
Rugby is looking at spring for a possible season. State health rules right now would severely limit tackling and contact. Saturday was the Run the Rockies 10K and half marathon, the first wave start race in Summit since shutdown, where Jeremiah Vale of Dillon was fastest on the half marathon course. Christine O'Gorman of Lakewood won the women's half marathon. Zach McBride of Frisco took the men's and overall 10K title. Jenny Wong of Dillon won the women's race. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News.